Hi, I'm Lee. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm a short, overweight, middle-aged white dude. I've got thinning brown hair, black glasses, I'm wearing a blue t-shirt with my logo on it. Pretty cool, right? And I'm sitting in my Tesla Model Y, and in this video, we're going to have a look at some really cool features that have come out in a recent update for Tesla Model Ys and Model 3s. Now, there's some things that are in here and aren't in here because my car's a little bit older, so you might have some features that I don't have and so on and so forth. Also, very important to note is that Tesla doesn't release their software updates all at the same time for all the same cars. So across Australia, you may have gotten this update a couple of days ago. You may not get this update for another 2 or 3 weeks. So bear with it. But let's jump in right away. The first thing you'll notice is right away, there's a big car on your screen now. So before this, the car was just sort of a little bit on the right-hand side here. So it looked a lot like that, whereas now you can adjust it to have the car sort of full screen, which I think looks really cool. You then got your navigation and your options here for your media. So if you go into your media, you can see your media on the right. You got slightly bigger controls. So really, really nice. I really like the look of it. You can see at the moment that I am plugged in and I'm charging. You can see that while you're charging, you also get this little green bar along the side here. Before, all of this information was sort of spread across the top, whereas now it's spread across the right hand side. By the way, I've done my back end, so if it seems like I'm a little bit uncomfortable, it's because of that, so please bear with me. I also look like I'm a robot because I've got to keep really, really strong posture and all that kind of jazz. You can adjust the look of this. You can spin this around, which is really cool. You'll notice that there's these little boxes here for things that you can change or adjust. You can see my charge port is open at the moment. You can also pause the boot while it's opening or closing at the moment. So if I just tap on open, I can also tap on pause and it will pause the boot, and then I can close it again. I'm guessing the logic with that is if you're busy opening or closing the boot and someone goes, hey, you can quickly pause it, or if it's about to hit the roof or something, I don't know, but that's a nice little function. Some other little things that were added in here is that you now get notifications over on this window here. I'm going to show a bit of B-roll over this because obviously I couldn't force a notification to happen right now, but you get notifications over on the screen. Some other things that we have here, if we jump into the settings, to begin with, if we look in lights, there's been a few stop starts with this. Now, if you have a car that supports this feature, adaptive high beams, I haven't had a chance to test this, but if this works the way it's advertised, it's really cool because basically your lights are pixels, so they can control each and individual pixel in the light. So if you're driving and you've got your high beams on and a car's coming towards you, instead of the car turning the high beams off completely, it'll only turn off the pixels in the lights that are shining in that car's face and keep the added illumination of high beams in the rest of the area. So again, if it works as advertised, very, very cool. If we have a look here in navigation, they've also added a feature called speed camera chime. So obviously if you're driving and there's a speed camera coming up, it'll ding, ding, ding and say there's a speed camera coming up. I don't speed, of course, so I have no use for that whatsoever. Going down, now this isn't from this particular update. I think this came in an update 2 or 3 updates ago, but I only noticed it recently. Previously, if you wanted to get to your Wi-Fi settings or your Bluetooth, you had to tap on LTE there in the top or on Bluetooth, and that would take you to the settings. Whereas now there are dedicated Bluetooth and Wi-Fi setting options here in the list of options. I'm just going to go quickly into the release notes of this update just to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. Starting from the top, you've got Audible, so you now have the Audible app, and if we go into that, you can see now you've got Audible. This is really, really great because for those of us who do long drives fairly often, listening to an audiobook is a great way to sort of pass the time. 2 recommendations for you, an oldie, one new one. World War Z, if you into that sort of stuff, really, really great audiobook, amazing cast. And a more recent one, which the wife told me to listen to, which I should have listened to ages ago, as usual, Project Hail Mary. Check it out, fantastic audiobook. So having Audible on there is a really great thing. The visualization updates, we've gone into that a little bit. You can have this big screen on when you're driving as well. They have also made the font of the actual speed in the speedometer or whatever you want to call it. That definitely looks bigger. I'm not sure if it is, but it does seem bigger. And you can have the big screen on even while you're driving. And when you want to adjust the size of the big screen, you see there's a little gray line there you can adjust, but you can't make it sort of half and half. It's either all or nothing sort of thing. So that's a thing. I suppose there is also the other thing of, it looks cooler, but I shouldn't be looking there that often because my eyes should be on the road. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's even showing the indicator. Okay, that is cool. That is cool. It's showing the indicator that this car in front of me is indicating to go left. That is cool. With Spotify, you now have, you can sync your Spotify cues across vehicles and devices and adjust playback speed. I thought that was a thing already, but I don't use Spotify, so nice that they've got that. With Sentry Mode, you can now preview the Sentry Mode recording, so you should get a notification on your phone or your watch, and it'll actually show you like a thumbnail of the recording, what it's recorded. You also have average speed zone. So this will, when you've got navigation on, it'll tell you how you're averaging in that speed zone and how much further distance you've got of that speed zone. I'm curious to see how that works because I find the maps generally pretty good in terms of going, okay, well, the speed is this here and this there, but sometimes not that great. You've got trip progress report. So if, let's say, for example, I type in that I want to go to the airport, let's say, you can see there that it shows me what speed cameras there are along the way, and it also shows me that there is traffic, but it also shows me the traffic in my navigation here. And as I'm driving along, it'll show that traffic in there, which it's a small little thing, but I really like sort of like the slightly different UI that they've added to this. And you can see that they've, can't remember, it's so hard for me to remember what the UI looked like yesterday. I know it's silly, but I think they've sort of, yeah, they've made the corners here a little bit more rounded. I think that's what they've done. So yeah, nice little touch there. The last thing with the routing is that if it changes, so if there's a better route that the car notices, it will give the option to change routes. The wiper settings, I know I shouldn't be this excited about it, but I am. So now if you half press on the wiper button, which is the button on the left hand stalk here, full press spritzes and wipes, but just half press just gives you a wipe. It brings up your wiper settings automatically, and you can use the scroll wheel on the left hand side to adjust the speed and the settings of your wipers. Now, you were able to do that previously. You could set it up with the wipe and whatever, but now the fact that that setting comes up every time automatically when you turn on the wipers, it's such a small little thing, but it's gonna make life that little bit easier. So I really appreciate that they've added that function. There's a bunch of security improvements, so they've done stuff. Then the last thing here in the notes is that you can use the browser, the web, I presume they mean the web browser, to full screen when you're parked. Obviously you can't use the browser at all while you're driving. You can swipe now to delete recordings in the Sentry mode. There's something about Valet mode. There's some stuff about the games, whatever. I'll leave that up there for a while, so if you're interested in seeing, you can see that. One thing to note that I just want to point out, so when you're going into the browser and you want to go onto full screen with the browser, something that confused me, so I just assumed that you would grab this bar and move it over to the right to go full screen with the browser. Not how that works. So you do need to use the full screen button up here to go full screen on the browser, and then if you want to go out, you pull down and that gets rid of the browser. So not a big deal, but just something to look out for, because the first time I tried it, I was like, why is this not working? Now, I believe there is another function which my car didn't get because for some reason my car doesn't support it. If you've got one of the newer Model 3s, so the Highlands, there's also a feature where if you've got your phone in your pocket, you can walk up to the boot, stand there for a couple of seconds, and the car notices your phone's there, which is the key, and it'll open the boot for you. I'm guessing there's a hardware thing in the boot opening mechanism as to why that, I think that's only available on the Highland models. Correct me if I'm wrong, but oh, come on, Tesla. There's a lot of cars that aren't the Highland Model 3 that'd be really nice if you could find a way to support that function. So if you could, I'd really appreciate it. So that is all of the updates. I think that's everything that I've covered there. I think it's a great set of updates. There's a lot of nice functionality things like the windscreen wipers and the boot sort of pausing thing. The UI, you know what? I wasn't sure about it. I was kind of, change is very often, oh, I'm not sure about change. I like what I like and I like it to stay the same, but I really like this new UI. I think it looks fantastic. I think functionality, I think it genuinely adds sort of functionality to the car. So that's really, really cool. I'm not sure about having the full screen up while I'm driving. I think that's going to take a bit of getting used to. I think I will like it once I get used to it, but at least for now, I think, again, it's one of those things. I'm so used to having the maps up on the screen, and you do have the maps kind of up there in the corner, but it's not the same. One other little bit, there's now a dedicated nav button, so that brings you up into the navigation. Just thought it's worth mentioning. Yeah, I think it's a really good update. I think there's some really nice features. I think it looks fabulous. I think I've said that already. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was useful. If you have found this video helpful or useful, please like and subscribe. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for your support, and we'll catch you on the next one. Safe and happy driving. But I only noticed, middle-aged white dude, I've got thinning brown hair, black gloss, I'm going to Bluetooth shift. It's amazing how you don't realize how bumpy your roads are until you have a bad back and you're trying to drive on them. So that is all the fingerprints. Display, screen clean mode. So otherwise it's gonna, ow, 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 ow. I should mention that it's not the cleaning the screen that's hurting me, it's, well, I suppose it kind of is, but it's the movement of my back. Oh, getting old sucks. Hi, I'm Lee. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a lovely. No, let's maybe mean it. If you want to change your wiper settings, now if you half press, which is to just activate. The last thing with the routing is that the last thing with the routing. The last thing with the route.